Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio's, the Incoherent Ramblings of C&E. Christopher and Eric are your hosts, coming to you live from Greensboro, North Carolina, as we do every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Our intro music is provided from the Podshow PodSafe Music Network. Check it out at music.podshow.com. Also, feel free to email your topics for discussion, suggestions, and comments to incoherentramblings@live.com. Here we are, February the 19th. This is Christopher.
This is Eric.
And we are reporting to you live from Greensboro, North Carolina, from the internationally famous C&E studios. How are you today, Eric?
I'm doing great. And yourself, Chris?
I'm doing fairly decent.
We'd like to let our listeners know that if they would like to call in, our guest call-in number is 646-716-6928.
Yes, that is correct. And they can also listen to our show from that number if they so choose. They can also go to www.blogtalkradio.com/incoherent ramblings. That gives you all manner of information on how to contact us, how to listen to the show, some social networking sites, and so forth. And you can get well connected with us.
If they want to catch up on any past episodes, they can listen to those through iTunes.
Yes.
Or Facebook or
MySpace. Or the show's webpage. They have on demand, and you can just choose the date and click play.
There you go.
And Eric just touched on iTunes. That is, we have an exciting announcement. He unveiled it for us. We are officially on iTunes. If you go to, if you have the iTunes client downloaded, and you go to the iTunes store, you can actually do a search on. You don't even have to go under podcasts, but you can do a search for Incoherent Ramblings. It will pull our show up, and you can subscribe. Please, even if you listen to it live or download it via other methods, if you have iTunes, do us a favor. Go out, find the podcast, and subscribe. All that's going to do is automatically going to go out and check on the daily schedule, and anytime there's a new show, it's going to download it. But more importantly, it will show more people that are subscribing, which will create more interest in the show.
Absolutely.
So if you could do that, we would absolutely appreciate it.
And we have some artwork.
Yes, we have an updated logo provided by last week's feature presenter, of the show's technical correspondent, Dr. William Mitchell. He created this for us. It is a very cool design. Go to any of our websites and you will see it. Also in iTunes, it actually shows up there for the podcast as well. And it has the show's official mascot, Bella, and she is strategically placed in the logo. So there are some updates, and I'm excited about those, and Eric is as well.
We had another milestone this past week as well.
Yes, we reached 100 listens of our show.
There you go.
Well, we have now exceeded that, but we actually reached 100 listens of the show, and our profile view, Eric, is we're up to 211 profile views. So people are definitely coming by and checking out our profile on Blog Talk Radio, and apparently some of the people are interested enough to actually download and listen.
There you go.
So that's very cool. We appreciate you guys listening, and because we're actually having a blast at this. We're enjoying it.
Absolutely.
So today we have several different things on tap. The things that we actually have published on our website as far as the description for the show. We have a money-saving tip that's going to be coming up later in our economics corner. It's about how you can net up to $599 off your credit card balance. So this is a very cool thing. You want to pay attention and listen to it. Some people think it's questionable, but it is, however, legal. And I will play devil's advocate, and Eric will explain on his side why he thinks that it's a feasible option for people who are in need. Also, we have a review, Eric.
Yes, we're reviewing the movie Taken,
Yes.
which Christopher and I both saw last week. So that's coming up later in the show.
The official review is going to be by the show's movie aficionado, Eric, and then I will add my 2 cents if I can even scrounge that much up. So those are the things we've promised you, but we have some other things.
Indeed.
Some exciting stories. Some are some feel-good stories. Some are funny. Some are controversial.
A reenactment.
We actually have
an audio reenactment.
We have audio reenactment. We're not going to do the story right now, but we do have an audio reenactment of the chimpanzee story out of Connecticut.
Yes.
Some might even say it could be part of the 911 call. We don't know. We don't know, but it
we'll
is.
reveal where we got this on.
We will not reveal our source. No. But that is coming up. It's going to be a good show. I'm feeling confident about that. At least Eric and I will enjoy it. So,
and a couple other articles and funny news issues as well.
So we can get to the funny. I want to go ahead and get the serious story out of the way.
Okay.
It's not necessarily serious. It's just it's a nice story. There's an Army doctor. This guy is Dr. John Burson. He's a 74-year-old retired ENT specialist. 74, Eric. He's definitely in the latter years of his life.
My mother will be 74 tomorrow.
Exactly, and at that age, it's definitely an age of respect, but you don't necessarily expect them to go off to war.
No,
that is not something that I don't think anybody in our country, regardless of the position on war, would expect.
Hope my mother doesn't get called up tomorrow.
I hope she doesn't either, because I don't know if she would. I don't think that would be a good fit for her.
No.
But Dr. Burson.
But she is awfully in great condition, shape.
Yes, she is.
She runs and walks daily.
Yep, she's in very good shape. And it has a great attitude on life.
I'm not sure she can keep up with Dr. John Burson.
No, I don't know if he. I don't know if this guy. It sounds like a machine. He's basically he's been in Iraq for 2 tours.
This is his third tour.
This will be his third tour. And when he was in Iraq in 2005, he was among several doctors assigned to keep watch over Saddam Hussein. And the dictator actually was happy about it. He was 3 years younger than Burton at the time, and he told him, and I quote, "I'm glad they sent me one with gray hair this time." So Hussein was actually appreciative of this man because I guess he felt that the guy must be experienced.
Exactly.
And knew what he was doing. So
or has a gray hair fetish, I don't know which.
Oh, that caught me off guard. He very well may. We don't know that. But however, I just thought that was a neat story. He is a retired lieutenant colonel as well. So I mean, this guy obviously knows what he's doing. And I salute him. I am impressed with his story. Oh, and another thing of note, he easily passed the physical test. And I don't mean like a doctor giving him a physical. I mean the actual going out, running, push-ups, and the obstacle course and all that. He passed that with ease. And the guy that was over the test was blown away. He's like, this guy's out here keeping up with people a third his age. So
well, he said he's actually training for a half marathon.
I can't even do a half mile. So I mean, yeah, this guy is a machine. So I salute him and his service to our country.
Absolutely. And health.
Absolutely. Yeah. This guy is he is a role model, I believe. So Eric, do you have something for us?
I do. I've got one. The title of the story is "Burglary Suspect Caught with Pants Down."
Oh my goodness.
A burglary suspect attempting to run away from the law early this morning was brought to justice in part by a pair of sagging trousers. At about midnight on Tuesday, sheriff's deputies responded to an alarm at the Beer City on West Fairfield Drive. When the deputy arrived, he saw Robert Pittman, 37, of Pensacola, exiting the store through a smashed-out window, carrying several packages of cigarettes. Pittman attempted to flee, but handfuls of cigarettes prevented him from holding up his pants, which fell down around his ankles and forced him to trip and fall, making his apprehension pretty quick and easy.
Wow. A lot easier, I would say.
Yes.
Not the brightest.
Oh, I did want to mention this, too, because it does tie back to, our preferred listeners might be able to relate to this.
Mm-hmm.
Pittman was charged with criminal mischief.
Oh, well, there you
And burglary.
well, there you go.
And theft and possession of drugs and paraphernalia.
Where is our superhero in training when we need him?
No doubt.
Oh, Steppenwolf?
Steppenwolf.
Of course, his
North
territory is North Carolina.
Not Florida. I'm assuming that's Florida since it's Pensacola.
Well, we need to check in the Pensacola area to see if there are any superheroes.
Yes.
And we need to ask them if they can, do a little bit better job. This would have been an easy find for them.
Yet another report of criminal mischief.
Yes, criminal mischief here.
It's on the rise.
It is.
That is a crime. It's on the rise nationwide.
On a daily basis.
Indeed.
Hourly. I mean, it's running rampant. That would be my guess. Well, we have several more stories here, and then we're going to go into about 3 stories on animals. So I'm going to kind of save them towards the end because it's going to be like animals in the news.
Okay.
I have a little story here from India. Sometimes, Eric, we're busy. We feel like we're behind. You go to the office, you're behind. You've got all these dates. You can't get stuff done at your home. You've got this repair or the yard. You always feel like you're rushing to do something. You feel like you just can't catch up.
Right.
Well, there's a court in India, the High Court in New Delhi. They are so behind that they declare that they are 466 years behind schedule. The judges spend about 5 minutes on cases, but still there are thousands pending.
466
years. That's how far they are behind.
I don't have my calculator to do the math, but if each one's 5 minutes long and there's 466 years worth, that's a lot of cases.
That is a lot of cases pending. And these people are waiting trials and probably are going
sounds like a life sentence to me.
Pretty sure it's a life sentence, even for mischief. I mean, the simplest of crimes. If you're in India and listening, I would recommend, especially if you're in New Delhi,
obey the law.
Obey the law, and do
basically any kind of charge looks like a lifetime.
At least, even if you aren't in prison, it's a lifetime of waiting to get your record cleared if you believe you're innocent.
Indeed.
So
take you 466 years to clear your name.
Exactly. So next time you feel like you're behind, just think of this court in India that is truly worse off even than our government appears to be. That's pretty sad. Eric, I believe you may have a story for us, not from India, but from Indiana.
From Indiana, yes. It also involves the government in some way. South Bend man has paid a $4,079 property tax bill in coins as a way to protest the different assessments for his home and a rental property he owns just across the street.
Okay.
So apparently Richard Ross and his son-in-law lugged 2 carts of 11 sacks of change into the St. Joseph County Treasurer's office on Tuesday. He said the money was the property tax for the rental home.
Wow. Okay.
Which is of the same size of his other house. But because it's a rental home, they somehow assessed it to be of more value. And this is his way of protesting that, I guess, to them.
Well, yeah, I have a story. This is a personal story that I actually did myself. I didn't take it this far. This guy is I think that's maybe a little bit overboard. I had a $5 ticket in the city of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, about 20 miles west of where we live. I was there at City Hall doing a specific project specifically requested by the mayor at the time, Martha Wood herself.
Uh-huh.
And I parked where I was told to park, and I got a ticket. And I told them what had happened, and they did not care, and they said they weren't going to revoke the ticket. So I brought them 500 pennies. Yeah, I was a lot younger than I am now. That is an immature move. However, that seems a lot less immature than this gentleman who paid $4,000 worth of fines in coins. That seems maybe a little bit overboard.
And I think he did realize that he was probably punishing. The real punishment came to those I guess had to count those coins.
Right. And they probably had nothing to do.
No, with what the assessment value was.
Exactly.
But, by the way, he was short by $1.07. He had to come back and take that out of his pocket.
But you know what? I while I think that was immature and completely unnecessary, I do like one thing about it is obviously he stands on principles. He had a principle, right, wrong, indifferent. If you agree with it or not, he had a principle, and he was going to make his point.
Absolutely.
And
it's a nonviolent form of protest.
It is.
And
no one got hurt.
Lived up to his obligations.
He did,
but he showed that he wasn't happy about it.
Exactly. He still fulfilled his. You're right. That's so he abided by the law.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, do you have any non-animal news for us before we get into our animal news section?
Non-animal. There's one that's animal.
Oh, you have animal.
Oh, I do.
Oh, yes. Well, we have.
We even have some audio for that animal.
We do. Well, do you have some stuff that's, I'm just going to, we don't have to group it. I was just thinking we could group our animal stories together.
I think I have two that are non-animal related.
Well, why don't you go ahead and share those with us?
One's longer than the other.
That's fine.
But I've got to read the whole thing because I enjoyed it.
Sure. Go for it.
I'm going to start with the short one first.
Okay.
Okay. This comes from the Associated Press from Valentine's Day in Washington. Washington burglary victim outwits thieves and steals van.
I heard about this week. I read about it. I didn't read it in full, though, so share with us, please.
Patrick Rosario had a clever way of making sure a pair of burglars didn't get away with 3 flat-screen TVs. He stole their van.
Well, okay.
The 32-year-old laid-off Washington Mutual manager was in the basement of his Bellevue home Tuesday afternoon when he heard the thieves upstairs. He called 911 as he snuck out of the house and, against the advice of the dispatcher, hopped into the getaway car, a white Ford van that was parked in front of his house, still running, and drove away. The burglars took off on foot, leaving a pile of televisions, laptops, jewelry boxes, etc., and they were later apprehended. He just says he wished he could have seen the look on their faces.
But I like this guy.
Yeah.
No, I don't really think he took that much of a chance. These people seemed a little bit dumb in the first place. But I like his style. He could very well become a superhero.
He could. Well, listen to this. He said so this is a responding officer. He recognizes it wasn't the wisest thing to do, but nevertheless, he earned him some high fives from the responding officers.
Well, all he needs is an actual costume, and he could actually become a Washington State superhero.
And there you go.
Thwarting crime.
Yes.
Well, that is I like that. I like that. It's a good story. Thank you.
You're welcome. This one's titled "Green Means Stop for Drunk Concert Goer." Have you heard about this one?
I have not.
This is a longer story. I heard it somewhere earlier this week, but anyway, a woman was arrested on multiple DUI charges, traffic obstruction, and being a minor in possession of alcohol on February 6th. Police responded to the area of East Speedway Boulevard after a Safe Ride employee reported that a woman was passed out in her vehicle. When police arrived, they saw a stopped running car at a green light facing eastbound. When the officer approached the car, he saw the woman was asleep with her dress pulled up to her stomach and her underwear pulled down to her mid thigh. He probably doesn't run into that every day.
No.
Officer knocked on the window several times. She did not respond, so he opened the door. He began to shake her arm.
Mm-hmm.
Upon opening the door, he saw a 3/4 empty bottle of Sailor Jerry Navy rum. Wow, never heard of that liquor. But apparently it works well. On the floorboard of the passenger side, there was a strong odor of intoxicants coming from the woman's car. After 2 minutes of trying to wake her up, she started saying, "No, Clint, not right now."
Well, we think maybe we know what had happened to get her in this condition.
Indeed. The officer corrected her, introduced himself. The woman appeared to become more coherent. She was asked to pull her underwear up and her dress down, and while doing this, she took her foot off the brake and began to move forward. The officer had to put the vehicle in park. Apparently, she was asleep with her foot on the brake. Well, when the vehicle stopped, the woman asked, "What's the problem, officer?" Police asked her if she was okay, if she'd been injured. The woman said she was fine. she said, they asked her if she knew where she was. She said, yes, I'm coming home from a Slightly Stupid concert.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who they are?
I've never heard of them.
You're so wise in the ways of concert or music.
I've never heard of them.
The Tucson Fire Department came and examined her. She was fine. Police asked the woman if she'd been drinking, and she says, okay, officer, I'll tell you the truth. Yes, I have been. Officer noted that the speech was slurred and slow. He took her away from the vehicle, asked her if she would do a field sobriety test, and she said no. Please, my stomach hurts from cramping. She continued to tell the officer that she wasn't feeling very well because she had just started her period,
Mm-hmm.
and that when asked if she was refusing to do the sobriety test, she said, honestly, I'm too messed up and in too much pain to do it right now.
Okay.
So she told the officers that she had 4 shots of rum about 6 p.m. before going to the concert. You'll appreciate that. After the concert, she went to Chipotle and had a burrito.
Oh, that's a good blend.
And 2 more shots.
Okay. Well.
She does not recall leaving Chipotle.
Okay.
Okay. She knows she shouldn't have been driving home, but didn't have the money for a cab. So she decided to drive. She doesn't remember passing out in the intersection, or she doesn't understand why her dress was up or underwear was down.
Does she know who Clint is?
I don't know. That question wasn't answered.
Okay.
The officer asked if she thought she had drank too much, and the woman said, "Well, yeah, officer, isn't that obvious?"
Okay, so she's honest.
She's honest. Let's see here. That's pretty much it.
Well, the band she was singing is a rock reggae psychedelic band, and they actually have a new album in stores now, Slightly Stupid.
Slightly Stupid.
That's interesting. I had never heard of them. I'm not sure I would be interested.
May cause you to stop at green lights.
Yes, and leave the car in park with your foot on the brake.
There you go. May explain, or maybe not explain, underwear down around the ankles. Or
I still think Clint has something to do with that. That's my guess.
Can't argue with you.
Okay,
sounds like something Clint would do.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Well, you have an animal-related story for us. Would you like to share that with us now?
Why don't you share? I've already done 2 in a row now.
Okay. Well, here some animal weirdness for you. Obviously, these people were mentally disturbed. 100+ animals rescued from an apartment. 3 vans needed to carry away chickens, rabbits.
How many chickens?
It doesn't say.
It says more than 100 chickens.
Yes, more than 100 chickens. Yes, but that's all together.
You
missed the comma.
I missed the comma.
Eat, shoots, and leaves. You have to have commas. Yeah. Chickens, rabbits, rodents, iguanas, and tarantulas. Yes, so more than 100 total animals.
I follow you.
Consisting of those have been removed from a 2-bedroom Buffalo apartment. They needed 3 vans to cart them off. They had been living in this cramped, small little apartment. They had to remove them in cages and cardboard containers. They were living in the 2nd-story apartment, and people had been complaining about smell. I think that's I don't know why. The SPCA in Buffalo is going to be quite busy because they're trying to find homes for some of the animals, and people are trying to rescue them and whatnot. I think they should maybe kill the tarantulas. That would be my personal preference. I don't care for.
What would PETA say about that?
What would PETA say to that? What would PETA do?
What would PETA do?
Yes, we are working on a bracelet and a T-shirt campaign for what would PETA do. I will go ahead and go. We have a couple dog-related stories. I have a dog-related story. Then Eric's going to share one. This one is police find 22 dogs in a station wagon with the owner. She locked the doors and refused to come out for the authorities. She was in North Texas. She was about 70 miles north of Dallas. The authorities seized 22 dogs found crammed inside a station wagon. The owner locked the doors and refused to come out when the authorities tried to serve her a warrant for seizures of the dogs. 2 puppies and 20 dogs were taken to a shelter until a judge decides who gets custody. The dogs were in the car along with a pot of water, blankets, and waste. And here we have a quote. The car was soaked with urine and covered in feces. The ammonia level in the vehicle was 23 parts per million, even after the doors had been open for several minutes. Now, this next part of the quote puts that into perspective. As a frame of reference, humans start experiencing health issues at 12 parts per million. And this was at 23 parts per million, almost double, after the doors had been open for a while and had time to clear out. That's a high amount of ammonia concentration from the urine and feces. Pottsboro is Texas, where this happened. Like I said, about 70 miles north of Dallas.
Now, was she driving? Was she just parked? Is this her home?
It doesn't even say.
Was she charged with anything?
There is a court date that's set.
So she must have been charged with criminal mischief or something.
Animal mischief. But I mean, obviously, there's something wrong there because, so far, the owner. To answer your question, the owner does not face charges. Grayson County Constable Michael Putman said she was not coherent, and the SPCA said it has contacted Adult Protective Services about the woman. So they really haven't gone into more detail, but that would tell me that she something's wrong.
Her faculties weren't there.
Exactly.
It could have been because of prolonged
exposure to the ammonia,
to the high levels of ammonia.
Yes.
In urine and feces.
So, but she was prepared. She had blankets and water.
Yes.
And when you have blankets and water and feces, you're pretty much prepared to face about anything.
That's right.
So that is a dog-related story I have. And next, I believe Eric has a dog-related story that we have a little bit of audio to preface with.
Yes.
Would you like to read us just
a little bit, and then you...
Okay.
Yeah. Italian police were called to catch a poodle that had bitten off the nose of its female owner before running into the garden. They chased the poodle, called Vale, around owner Lorenzo Romano's garden before finally retrieving what was left of the nose. Miss Romano, 34, said, "My little Vale often climbed into bed with me, and I don't know why she suddenly bit off my nose." The dog hurried back down. Anyway, they ended up getting the dog and throwing it back. She's going to have some plastic surgery.
Yes.
Only thing she said was that she was no longer going to let the dog sleep with her.
I would have to agree with her there.
Yes.
This dog seems maybe a little bit upset with the owner. I don't know. Sometimes
dog in the right side of the bed or something. I don't know.
Something prompted this because dogs are generally compassionate, loving animals.
I don't know. Poodles are
notorious
for being evil.
I don't like poodles. I also don't like dachshunds. But I hope someone's not listening right now.
You don't like them?
I don't like those little dogs, except for one named Lily. I like.
That's
her.
right. We like Lily.
But other than Lily, I don't like them. So here we have.
Why the cowboy?
Go ahead, Eric.
Speaking of Dachshunds, is that how you say that?
Well, some people call it. It's actually Dachshund. It's like Dachshund.
Dachshunds?
Yes.
Wiener dogs.
Wiener dogs. Yes.
Why did the cowboy get a wiener dog?
I don't know, Eric. Why did he?
You want to get along, little doggy.
Sorry, Eric. I had to give you the sheeple word.
Sorry.
I think that's only like the first or second time I've heard that joke.
Really?
Yeah. Well, folks, do you have something else for us?
Nope, I think that's it.
That's it? Well, now we're going to move to our premier animal story. And this is
the audio reenactment too. Goes along with this.
It will. Everybody knows about Travis the chimp.
Yes.
He is a veteran of TV. He has been
commercials.
You name it.
Yes.
And he's dined on steak, lobster, ice cream, wine. He uses the toilet, dressed and bathed himself. A pretty proficient little animal to have around the house.
Refined.
Yes.
He would drink water out of a goblet.
Yes, he would, right out of the goblet. Yeah. But he, in all seriousness, he made a lot of commercials. We have all seen him at some point in our life on the television. An unfortunate story out of Connecticut. For some unknown reason, he decided he was 200 pounds there.
Right.
This is a large animal, larger than some actual adults.
Right.
For some unknown reason, he attacked the friend of his his owner before being shot to death by police. They're trying to figure out maybe if he had a bout with Lyme disease, a reaction to drugs, or a case of instinct taken over. I find that hard to beat. I mean, I know he's a wild animal, but he's been in this woman's custody for years and behaving, somewhat civilized for a wild animal. I don't know why all of a sudden he would just attack 55-year-old Charlotte Nash. So the owner obviously loves his pet.
Right.
Comes out with a butcher knife and commences to stabbing him with a butcher knife and pounding him with a shovel.
Well, it's not like this was a gentle attack. I mean, it was a brutal attack.
It was a brutal attack. It was. In all seriousness, this was a very serious. He very well could have killed this victim. In all seriousness, no joking there. But what I like about that, some people that are animal lovers are so engrossed with their animal, they would not have done that to save their friend because, this lady obviously has her priorities in mind, and her friend's life was more valuable than her beloved pet. Mm-hmm. So, she was able to, I think, get him away. Now, Charlotte Nash did sustain life-changing, if not life-threatening, injuries to her face and hands. So there's a serious thing here. However, eventually they had to call the police in. The police came in and had to shoot this chimpanzee, Travis. Mm-hmm. There's some other stuff here, but
the chimpanzee was acting kind of crazy earlier in the day, and I think the owner gave her some Xanax to try and calm it down. Right.
So, and Xanax is just it's a very mild benzo. It's kind of a cousin to Valium, but it's much less powerful, and it just kind of mellows you out, kind of calms you down. So I don't see why it would have been bad, because that we should have had the opposite effect of what happened. So a difficult story as far as for the victim is concerned. We sincerely hope that Charlotte has a quick recovery and can actually overcome this.
Right.
And we also hope that she isn't infected with Lyme disease, because that would be a nasty added to her current
So is that
state.
a possibility?
He had Lyme disease and he was biting and slicing at her and whatnot. I don't know. It's a illness. It comes with flu-like symptoms. It can lead to arthritis and meningitis in humans. So it's. I'm not very familiar with how it's transmitted. However, I think her chances of getting it definitely go up being attacked by this animal.
Right.
So now that kind of links us to our next story. It's basically the same story, just taking it a step farther. But before we go to that, we actually have our reenactment here, and we believe it might be part of an actual official 911 recording. We're not sure, but please listen to this carefully.
That's authentic to me.
That sounded like a chimpanzee, and it was definitely gunshots.
Yes.
So I believe what we just witnessed with our ears was actual recording of the incident as it took place, as the police shot Travis. And he needed shooting. He was obviously out of control.
He did. Even after being shot, and he was actually shot more than twice, I think.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He made his way back into the house and into his cage where he ended up passing.
And that's where he passed. Yes. Obviously, a pretty an animal with stamina. Take a couple shots. Already been stabbed
by a butcher knife,
beaten with a shovel, shot twice, 2 or 3 times, and still is able to get into the house.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
They're hard to take down.
The New York Times, I'll retract. The New York Post actually ran a cartoon recently. The cartoon, Eric, is a drawing of 2 police officers. One has his gun drawn. There's some smoke, and there's a chimpanzee, 2 bullet holes, some blood surrounding it. And the caption says they'll have to find someone else to write the next stimulus bill. I actually was emailed this cartoon, and I kind of laughed, I kind of chuckled, shrugged my shoulders, and that was it.
Right.
the ever idiotic and brain-dead Al Sharpton, who leads a nation of ignorant people, has taken offense to this and says it's racist. And it obviously is not racist. Not only is it not racist, it's not even really that funny. But you know, Al Sharpton is mind-numbingly stupid, and I would love to interview him. I really would. But I know he would never, do that.
Do you have his remarks to that?
I do not have his remarks. I not in audio. I could have, but I ran out of time preparing the show. However, I will read this. The New York Post is standing behind a cartoon that some have interpreted as comparing President Barack Obama to a violent chimpanzee gunned down by police. I don't see that comparison. Do you, Eric?
Not at all. Not in that.
In this cartoon, both in the verbiage and in the drawing itself, I do not see that comparison anywhere, and I don't think any sane person would see that comparison unless that person thought of black people as chimpanzees.
Right.
If you made that comparison, then obviously you're a hate-filled person like Al Sharpton is, and that's why you would make that comparison. A normal person would not see that.
I didn't.
So basically,
it's normal, but I didn't see that comparison.
Exactly. The cartoon in Wednesday's Post by Sean Delonis shows two police officers standing over the body of a bullet-riddled chimp. One of the officers says to the other, they'll have to find someone else to write the next stimulus bill. Civil rights activist and idiot Al Sharpton called the cartoon troubling at best, given the historic racist attacks of African Americans as being synonymous with monkeys. Whatever. But Sharpton said the Post should clarify the point it was trying to make with the cartoon, which was playing off Monday's rampage by its pet chimpanzee in Stamford, Connecticut, that left the woman severely mauled. Police ended up killing the chimp.
Right.
I believe they have clarified, and I think they clarified quite well. Personally, this is a direct quote from the Post editor-in-chief, Cole Allen, a direct quote. The cartoon is a clear parody of a current news event, to wit, the shooting of a violent chimpanzee in Connecticut. It broadly mocks Washington's efforts to revive the economy. Again, Al Sharpton reveals himself as nothing more than a publicity opportunist. That's pretty clear. Al Sharpton wanted clarity. They got clarity.
Yeah.
And the story about the cartoon, liberal-leaning Huffington Post web drew hundreds of responses, many calling the cartoon racist and insensitive. These people are obviously as stupid as Al Sharpton. So basically, Sam Stein, a columnist for the site, wrote, at its most benign, the cartoon suggests that the stimulus bill was so bad, monkeys may as well have written it.
That's how I read it.
That's how I read it, and I don't see where that's offensive.
No.
I'm
sure it's not.
I
don't rank to those who wrote the bill.
I don't see where it's racist.
But it's certainly not racist.
I don't see where it's racist.
No.
Most provocatively, it compares the president to a rabid chimp. Either way, the incorporation of violence and on a darker level, race into politics is bound to be controversial. I will go on record saying, and this is my personal views, it does not reflect Eric's. I don't know if it does or not, but I'm speaking for myself. I think one of the biggest problems with racial controversy is people like Al Sharpton constantly bringing it up, even where it's not even remotely applicable. Just constantly throwing it up.
A race card when there's
all
no
the time.
race card to be played.
Right. Now, if the cartoon made some kind of actual verbal analogy to it being President Obama, or if it depicted President Obama in the picture, then yes, I would be like, wow, that's inappropriate. The fact of the matter, it doesn't do that, and the first thing I took was that our lawmakers in Washington are inept, and basically saying that either they are on the same level as monkeys, or that perhaps monkeys could even do a better job, because I think the only people that are truly enamored with this bill that they've created are the people that created it.
Right.
I don't know. I've known people on the left and the right that nobody is truly happy with it.
No, absolutely not. And the support for the bill, if you look at the polls, is horrendous.
Right.
This might be a topic that we could consult our political enthusiast Yes, even next week.
Next week we can actually discuss the stimulus bill in a little further detail. Yeah. Absolutely. So I was on my soapbox, and I do it proudly because I really do not like racism of any kind. And a lot of people, for some unknown reason, think the only racism available is black on white. I mean, white on black. Well, racism is available any race against any race. And Al Sharpton is a racist. He's a pig-headed racist. I do not like him. Not because he's black. I don't like him because he's a racist. And I think that gives me the right not to like him. Anyhow, that's how I feel about him and Jesse Jackson. I think they're both racist. But Al Sharpton is an opportunist. Everybody knows that. And I'm glad that
I wouldn't go so far to call him a racist, but definitely an opportunist and definitely someone who will play the race card even when it clearly is.
That to me is a racist. Someone who's always throwing race in your face when it's not even applicable. But Jesse Jackson is a racist. He hates Jewish people. Clearly, he stated that made disparaging remarks towards them many times, and they're, I think they're boyfriends. So I would say that his ideology, I don't know what that word is, it kind of ties in with Jesse Jackson. I think they're both on the same level of disgust, and I have no use for either one of them. We actually have a caller calling into the show. And we are, Eric, are we in a position where we can take a call?
I think so.
But right before we do, we're going to listen to a piece of audio. Caller, you are on the air.
Well, hello. How are you?
How are you doing?
Doing well. I just wanted to. I was just listening and just got on and I was listening about the political cartoon, and I think people need to take some time and I may not necessarily have the same views as you as far as the cartoon, but I do also know that it is a political cartoon, and people need to go and look at some of the cartoons that were back in the Civil War area during that time that Lincoln had. And what people did and the cartoons that they had against Lincoln were far worse than anything that could be produced today. So I think people need to kind of take a step back and look at history and how the political cartoon and how bad it used to be and how mild it is compared to what it used to be years ago in America. That's all I had to say.
That is an excellent point.
Indeed.
Thank you for calling. Do you have anything else to add?
No, love the show. Glad you guys are doing it, and keep up the good work.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you for listening. I'm glad our caller brought that up. I have seen some political cartoons with Abraham Lincoln, and they were brutal.
Yes.
Another thing that I would like to bring up real quick is that
not that this. I want to make another point on this real quick, but not that this cartoon depicts President Obama as a chimpanzee.
It doesn't depict him at all.
Right. I have seen past presidents in political cartoons depicted as animals, including apes and chimpanzees.
Right.
So,
but this doesn't. Nowhere in this cartoon, anywhere, I would gladly have someone show me where they see Obama in this cartoon, because he's not there. He's not referred to at all. It's ridiculous. But one thing I would like to bring up. It's so convenient for people to talk about freedom of speech, except for when they don't like what's being said. Freedom of press, freedom of speech, as my political leanings are, I actually believe in the Constitution and believe it should be upheld. People that claim they believe in the Constitution actually don't. They only believe in it when it's applicable to actually support their agenda. Freedom of press, freedom of speech, if he was depicting the president as a chimpanzee, which he's not, would be covered under freedom of press and freedom of speech.
Yes.
So people just need to shut up because it's not even an issue.
Right. If they had done that, which they didn't,
right,
and they were offended by that, then they just wouldn't need to buy the New York Post.
They could, if someone is offended by this, no longer support the New York Post. Right. I think that's the best solution. If I'm offended by a certain company, I just no longer support them if I ever did in the first place.
Right.
So, I think that's enough on that.
Indeed.
Did I mention I don't like Al Sharpton? I really don't.
Didn't catch it.
So now we're going to move on to a movie review. Last week, Eric and I, along with our friend of the show, Lauren, actually went to see the movie Taken. All three of us liked it a lot. I'm getting ready to play a little clip, a short trailer, and then I'm going to turn it over to Eric, who is the show's official movie aficionado. So here is the trailer for Taken, starring the great Liam Neeson.
Why do you want to go to Paris?
Dad, hello? The Louvre, the Impressionist Museum, the Picasso Museum. I really, really want to go.
I don't think a 17-year-old should be traveling alone.
You're pathetic.
Kim. 3 conditions. I want the address and phone number of where you're staying.
Okay.
If you move, I want to know where and with whom you'll be staying.
Okay.
You call me when you land. You call me every night before you go to sleep.
Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Someone here.
What?
Oh my God, they got Amanda. They took her.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
Good luck.
There was a little ominous preview, a little trailer. It's kind of eerie sounding at times. It was a suspenseful movie. And now Eric with our review of Taken.
All right, Chris, thank you. Well, like I said, Christopher and I saw it last week. I knew very little about the movie when I went in to see it, other than the fact that it was an action, suspenseful type movie. I should take another step back and explain my method of reviewing movies.
Please. Eric McMahon,
this is
movie rating system.
We are in the star system.
No,
we're not.
No.
How we rank movies is we either say that it's worth paying full ticket price for,
right,
or worth going to see the movies, but go to a matinee,
right,
or rent it,
okay,
or if it's not as good, then I might say wait till it comes out on network TV.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not worth seeing at all, I just say avoid it altogether. Okay,
right.
So that's our
like Doom.
Like Doom.
Yeah.
Natural Born Killers.
Natural Born Killers.
Not worth
seeing ever.
Right. But then last week, or week before last, I should say, we reviewed
Gran Torino.
Mm-hmm. And that was worth seeing full price.
Absolutely.
Paying full price to see. So, anyway, back to Taken. This was definitely an action movie that actually has a plot.
Okay.
Whoever made this movie, they recognized that just blowing things up isn't enough. It's basically a story about a man named Brian Mills, who's played by Liam Neeson, a retired government agent, divorcee, and father. He reluctantly allows his 17-year-old daughter to travel to Paris, and while on the phone checking in on her while she's there, his daughter Kim and her friend are kidnapped. Brian then travels to Paris to get his daughter back and make the kidnappers pay. Basically, I'm purposely trying to be vague in my description of this movie because, like I said, when I went to see it, I didn't know a whole lot about it, and I want the viewers to have that same blank slate. But I will say as a father that I could easily relate to Brian's anger and fear, that the action was phenomenal and believable.
For the most part.
And worth every penny of paying full price of the movie ticket, paying for a full price movie ticket with popcorn.
I concur.
So
I on the internationally famous McMahon movie rating scale, I would have to concur with you. It is a full price movie. I will throw in my 2 cents. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I also, like you, don't want to give too much away because there is some suspense with the movie, and there are some things that I liked about the movie that I'm afraid would take away from some of that suspense. So I won't go there. However, the action for the most part, there were a few times looking back on it where I was like, well, I'm not sure I really find that believable. But even the stuff that some people may find believable, I did, simply because he was a well-trained former government employee where his job was to do things that required a great amount of skill.
Mm-hmm.
And he used that skill.
A lot of people don't have a father with those skills.
Right, exactly.
So that part may not have been as believable.
Exactly.
But I'm sure there are some of those individuals, those skills out there.
Right, you know, you have the
I don't believe my father possesses those
No,
skills.
my father, in his younger age, could easily whip someone's tail. However, he did not possess these skills. But I do know there are people that possess them. Right. And I'm not a father. I'm glad you said as a father you could relate to that part of it. I think I would feel the same way if I had a child, that I would, you know, go through whatever lengths necessary to provide the child's safety. But an awesome movie. I also recommend paying full price. Liam Neeson, I think amazing. At the beginning, I kept thinking of Aslan. I couldn't help it because his voice is so distinct and it's so smooth and it's great. And I just kept thinking, you know, Aslan. But after about 5 minutes, I had dropped that. Right. But I find him an amazing actor, and I enjoy everything I've ever seen him in.
You made a point when we watched the movie that I thought you should make tonight. But do you think that would be giving away too much as to be a spoiler for those who are listening?
I think I can do it in a generic enough way where it would not be.
Okay.
I think I can.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. There are certain times in certain movies where you see a character. I will be very vague. You'll see a character that will be a certain way through the entire movie, and at the climax of the movie, no longer be that way.
Right.
This movie does not disappoint in relation to that. I think that's vague enough. But I'm just saying
the character cryptic and vague.
The character stays true.
Yes,
the character stays true throughout the entire duration of the movie.
Right.
And I thought that was a very neat thing, and I think it would have taken away from the movie had that not been the case. So, Taken. Starring Liam Neeson.
Worth paying full price.
Absolutely. And a popcorn and maybe even a soda.
There you go.
And one thing I'd like to point out, Eric, do you watch Lost?
I don't.
Okay. Well, for our viewers that do watch Lost, his daughter is played by the actor who was Boone's sister in Lost. I do not have the names right now. I apologize. They're not coming to memory. However, it's the same young lady who I was never a fan of on Lost, and I thought she was amazing in this movie. She's actually 26 years old.
Is she?
She played 17-year-old and quite convincingly. Yes, yeah. Absolutely. So, a well done job by everybody in the movie, I believe. So, there's our review.
Awesome. Recommend it.
Absolutely.
Go see it.
Eric, do you have anything for us?
Well, we have one last thing. We're running out of time. Do we still want to talk about our money-saving tip?
Absolutely. If you think you can do it in about 5 minutes, I say go for it. Knock it out.
We can't talk about the controversy behind it. Maybe we could save that for next week.
Okay.
But basically, this is the money-saving tip in a nutshell. I stumbled upon a way to have the credit, if you happen to have a credit card. I know many of our listeners probably do.
Sure.
And I found a way through a program that most credit card companies have called MatchPay, in which an individual can make a payment and have the credit card company match that payment and reduce their loan amount or by the combined amount.
Okay.
So my recommendations is if you can use MatchPay. Let's say that you owed a credit card company $1,000. You can pay that credit card company if they offer you this MatchPay to make a payment of up to $599, and they will match that amount. Okay. If they match any amount over $599, then it would reflect negatively upon your credit report because then it would show the charge off.
And they have to report it.
And they have to report it.
For the IRS.
But if you do a what's called MatchPay payoff of up to $599, then they will reduce your amount owed by that amount.
Okay.
Okay. Now, in order to take advantage of this, you probably have to be late.
Okay.
Not 30 days past due where it affects your credit report, but past due nonetheless.
Okay.
Okay. How I handled it is I waited till I was about 10 days past due.
Mm-hmm.
I called the credit card company. I was simply trying to get my interest rate reduced.
Okay.
And I was going around and around, and I was on the phone with them like 30 minutes. Because what happened is they had mailed my bill. I received it 2 days after the credit card was due.
I've had that happen.
And in doing so, they jacked up my interest rate to like 24%. So I was trying to get it back down to where it was before, and they said they couldn't do it. She didn't have the authority. I was trying to find out what she had the authority to do, and that's when she came out with this program called MatchPay.
Okay.
I've since used it on 3 other credit cards. So it's not just that company that offers it.
Okay.
I've had other friends that have successfully done it as well. So that's basically it in a nutshell.
So if I owe $2,000 and I was late and they offered me, I could pay $599 and thereby reduce my total balance by $1,198.
Correct.
And that is something. Now we'll put off for next week. We'll get into the controversy behind it because there are some people, some listeners of the show that raise questions.
Mm-hmm. We had several listeners who couldn't wait this week to get this money savings up.
Exactly.
And they forced it out of it.
Yeah, they got it ahead of time.
We discussed it with them ahead of time. And
yes, and they raised, I think, valid points. I understand the points they made.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think I'm at fault for not adequately explaining it because you were offered that. The first time you were not able to take advantage of it. The next time you talked to them, you were in a position where you could take advantage of it. You brought it up, and then they made that offer to you. So it's not like you're just going around saying, hey, I want you to do this. It's something that it's a service they offer to people who are behind.
Right.
And some people feel that maybe that's shirking responsibility. We'll get into that next week. But it's definitely, if you are in a pinch, if you've been laid off, they would not offer it. If they are in a position where they couldn't, they would not offer it. Right. So they're not hurting.
No.
There's no doubt about that.
I actually have some stats on, and we'll save it for next week.
Okay.
But, maybe I'll throw some out there real quick.
Just so some
Back in 2006, the credit card companies earned $90.1 billion in interest.
Wow. And
$55.2 billion in fees.
Wow. So almost $150 billion.
Right.
They could, right there's your stimulus right there.
Yeah.
Drop that crap.
Yep.
I don't begrudge any company from making money.
Right.
That does not bother me.
No.
And I don't even begrudge them charging interest. And I don't even have a problem jacking interest up if it's legitimately late. But like you said, they do have some, and we will get into this next week, where there's
no such thing as a fixed interest rate with a credit card.
Right.
They can change it with 15 days notice at any time.
They want to. And they have tactics that I believe are unethical, mm-hmm. where they will purposely send you your bill late, so you will be late. And it's of no fault of yours.
I didn't know until this week, until I was doing research for this show, that there is no cap in the maximum amount of interest they can charge. They're bound by the usury laws.
Right. So legalized loan sharks.
Right.
Basically is what it boils down to.
Yep.
So next week we will definitely...
Certain states do have caps on the maximum amount of credit card percentage.
But it's still high.
But all the credit card companies are headquartered in states that have no cap on interest rates.
There you go.
Anyway, that's mine.
So today is our show, February the 19th. We hope you enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. Eric?
Absolutely, I enjoyed it.
I hope I have not offended anyone. If I did, it was not my intention.
Next week you're going to talk about PETA?
Next week I'm going to try to offend some more people.
There we go.
I'm actually doing some research on PETA. Another company, I actually feel I feel they are lower on my totem pole than Al Sharpton. I have no. So I will be doing some research there and bringing a bully pulpit on PETA next week.
There you go.
And daring them to come take our show's official mascot, Bella.
There we go.
So thank you for listening. We appreciate it. Please send us email, whatever. Go ahead.
I'll defend myself against the credit card thing next week.
Yes.
We may actually have our political enthusiast talk about the stimulus bill next week. So it's lots to look forward to.
Lots to look forward to. Please go to iTunes, subscribe. please go to our site, send us email. Please contact us. We appreciate any and all contact that we get from our listeners. Thank you.
This has been Blog Talk Radio's The Incoherent Ramblings of C&E. Christopher and Eric are your hosts, and we would like to thank you for listening to our show today. Don't forget to tune in for next week's show live from Greensboro, North Carolina, as we are every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time.